Hi guys, in this video let us look into as to how practically DSCR and IRR computation is done by the bankers, right? So this is a real extract, this is an extract which is taken from a real model on which I personally have worked, right? And just my objective is to ensure that you get a real hand flavor of as to how things are practically worked on in the industry, right? And that's the objective with which I am creating this set of videos, right? So as you see over here, there are two computations which is very significant when a banker takes a decision as to whether they should be investing in a particular company for a particular project, right? So this IRR and DSCR computation gets to be very significant. How they take that decision, there are many factors that is taken into consideration. Obviously this computation is one part of it, right? So the focus of discussion on in today's video is to give you a flavor as to how the computation is done. What is the basis of that analysis is something which we'll discuss in some other videos, right? So let's see over here. As far as so as you see over here, there are two sections. So one is the IRR calculation, the other is a DSCR, debt service coverage ratio calculation, right? So as you see over here that say the finance that has been taken by the company maybe for this many number of years from 16 to 23, and these are the figures in so this is the section where inflows is taken into consideration. So first we see the PAT figures as we see over here, then comes the depreciation figures. Obviously these are projections, right? And each of this component is taken from a back-end calculation. So that is not something which I am trying to place over here. Here the focus is trying to understand how IRR and DSCR computation is done, right? So so depreciation, amortization, then interest on term loan for the existing loan that the company is having. So that also has to be taken into consideration, because it is just to get a sense as to how much the company is having in terms of the total amount which can be considered to be a part of the inflow, right? So interest on term loan is this set of figures, then salvage value of assets which is considered at the end of the period, then release of working capital margin, so the margin which has been placed by the company that gets released by the bank, so that gets to be an info. So the total info then gets to be this figure as you see over here with the sum function. Then here we focus on the outflow figures, the capex of new project, how much it is, the company is actually investing, right? And also the net fixed assets figure, right? That is something which we get to see over here. So that is how we get to the computation of net flows, which is C11 minus C14 minus C15, right? That is how we get to this figure, and this is how we do the IRR computation with the IRR function, right? So this is how we get to this figure of IRR. The second is the DSCR computation. So over here the numerator section comprises of the PAT section, as we have seen earlier for IRR computation. The depreciation amortization till this part is almost similar as we have seen earlier for the IRR computation. Then comes the interest on term loan minus this for the existing term loan if the company is having, and that is then adjusted to net of TUF subsidy. So TUF is a subsidy which is placed by the government. So if the company has taken that TUF subsidy or have plans to take the TUF subsidy, so this is how the projection is going to be. So as you see over here, 1.64, 1.19, it remains the same, but 3.83, 3.18, 2.46, these are the figures where the figures get changed on account of the TUF subsidy benefit that the company is going to get, right? So that is in context of interest on term loan for the existing loans, and this is for the new loan, right? Interest on term loan for the new loan that the company is taking, which is also adjusted to the net of TUF subsidy. That is how the figure gets computed over here. Less internal accruals to be utilized for new project, net of surplus cash. This is how this is the figure, and then we reach to the total available figure as we saw over here with the sum function, right? And so some function, and then it is like, as because it's less over here, that is adjusted over here, right? Then we come to the total obligation figure, which comprises of the interest payment of the existing loan that the company is having and the principal payment of the existing loan, right? And the interest payment of the new loan the company is taking up and the principal payment of the new loan that the company is taking up, right? So these are the components of this section. So that takes us to the total obligation figure. Then we come to the DSCR figure, as we see over here. So it's basically A by B. If for some reason the B figure gets to be 0, then it would show as NA over here, right? Then we come to the minimum DSCR figure, which is by using the min function of the C34 to J34 for this entire period, right? And then we compute the average DSCR in this way: sum of C27 to J27 divided by sum of C33 to J33, right? So this is how the computation is done. And two things you also have to take into consideration: the fact that over here you see that the PAT figure we have taken for half a year and not for the entire year, and depreciation also for half a year, because the loan may be extended for the last year only for say 6 months and not for the entire period, right? So this is just to give you first an understanding as to how actually the DSCR and IRR computation is undertaken in the real world. And I hope this adds a lot of value to you. If you are interested to get access to this Excel sheet, just give me yes in the comment and I'll share this with you. And if you find this valuable, do give a like, share, and comment on this, right? See you in some other video with some other insight. Thanks a lot.